Hello, welcome to the Superhero Show. I'm Daniel and you're?
Chris.
There you go. It is this guy's birthday, 75 years young this
He looks
week.
good for it. He looks good
does.
for it.
Bit of plastic surgery. Hey, joke.
We've been celebrating on the site. We posted a video where who talks about it? Michael Keaton talks about Batman, Adam West, Liam Neeson, Ken Watanabe, Tom Hardy.
All the biggies.
Arnie. Lots of people that have been in Batman movies, though, actually.
So what we thought was appropriate is to share not IGN's definitive list of Batman moments, our favourite moments. So we've picked 3 each from the movies.
Yeah, we're making it personal.
Very personal. So I believe you're up first?
Yeah, my first pick is, it's no secret, I've spoke about it on this show before. I'm a big fan of the 1960s Batman TV series. That's what first introduced me to the character. And so, yeah, I've got a clip from that, the 66 movie that they made.
Right, yeah.
So, Rich, do you want to roll tape?
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
So
now, obviously, that scene goes on for a lot longer with him running around with the bomb.
Is that not the end of Dark Knight Rises?
Well, yeah, it was inspiration for Chris Nolan's finale to the trilogy. But
It's so seminal was that moment.
I can actually pinpoint when I watched that because, and it was June the 14th, 1982, when I was 4 years old.
Blimey. I haven't got this for all my moments.
Do you know how I could do that? Because we videoed it, and it's a film I watched over and over again in my childhood, that video. And halfway through, there's a news flash that the Falklands War has ended. Which I had. Whenever I watched Batman, halfway through this would come on, and I didn't really understand it, to be honest, through my childhood, what that meant.
In retrospect, very poignant.
Yeah, I still have the video as well, to this day. But yeah, so what I love about it, that film and that scene is a good example of it, is that watching that as a kid growing up, I took that absolutely at face value. I thought this bomb was going to go off, I thought it was going to kill these nuns or these school kids or the ducklings, and it was a really tense, exciting scene. And then when you grow up and you see that it's all a big joke with a good punchline, yeah, it's brilliant that the way that film works on both levels, and all the way through that movie, it's exactly the same as that. His shark repellent bat spray that he has. As a kid, I thought, wow, Batman is the coolest guy ever. He actually has shark repellent bat spray.
Then you grow up for every eventuality.
So yeah, and that was my first exposure to the character, and I grew up loving that serial. I think it's great, it's fun, it's campy, it's the opposite of what the character went on to become, but it's the first version of him that I fell in love with. Right,
so I'm up next. This is my choice from the 1993, I believe, film Mask of Phantasm. Run clip, Rich.
It doesn't mean I don't care anymore. I don't want to let you down, honest, but it just doesn't hurt so bad anymore. You can understand that, can't you? Look, I can give money to the city, they can hire more cops, let someone else take the risk, but it's different now. Please, I need it to be different now. I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy. Please, tell me that it's okay.
Maybe they already have. Maybe they sent me.
Heavy.
Dramatic stuff.
Opposite of what I just showed.
Yeah, a little bit of a change of pace. So I really like that for several reasons. One, I think it's really emotionally, it's like a big emotional punch in that film. Because he's there at the grave of his parents, obviously the whole motivation why he became Batman in the first place. And he's begging them, let me go, let me not be Batman anymore, let me throw money at the problem. I found a chance for happiness. And he says, I think the line is, I didn't count on being happy, or I didn't expect to be happy. And it's such a sad line. Like, so overwhelming was the grief of his parents' loss that he decided to dedicate his life to one cause, that he couldn't even admit that there might be a future possibility of ever being happy. So when he says that line, he's like, he's kneeling in the mud and the lightning goes off, and it's a really gothic moment, really gothic Batman moment, and like high drama and high emotion. I just think it's such a sad line. It's such a simple line. It's so sad. and it just shows you the conflict that always rages in Batman. You know, he's not a superhero. He doesn't have to do this. It's not like with great power, but he still feels every inch of that responsibility that the other heroes do, and I just think it's a very powerful moment.
Yeah, and to be in an animated Batman as well, it's pretty awesome.
That's one of the great Batman movies.
He's one of the great Kevin Conroy, one of the great Batmans.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Top three.
Yeah. Well, my favourite Batman is probably Michael Keaton, so my number 2 clip is a Michael Keaton clip. So, Rich, roll tape.
Don't kill me! Don't kill me, man!
I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Wow. I'm really enjoying watching these.
Yeah, can we watch the movies after this?
It hasn't lost any of its power, has it?
Well, how cool is that? So I guess I grew up on the Technicolor kind of fun, campy Batman TV series. I read the comics, but I didn't read The Dark Knight Returns. I was a bit young for that. And also Superman, you know, the bright, kind of happy Superman movie. Yeah. And then, the Superman 2 was great, 3 and 4 were terrible. So 1989, I was, 11 years old, and superheroes were kind of dead on screen. And then this film was so heavily hyped. I just remember that summer, everywhere you looked, Batman was, and just hoping and praying that the film would live up to it. And for me, it did. And for all my friends, it was like unlike anything we'd ever seen in terms of superhero movies. And, you know, the dark superhero is something we've come to, you know, we see every summer now. But at the time, it was just totally unique. And it's not the great film that I remember when I rewatch it, but, you know, that moment...
There's still some great classic moments in there.
Yeah, seeing Michael Keaton dressed up like that, and he was terrifying. And you know, why I love his Batman is that you really felt the madness, because Michael Keaton's a bit mad in real life.
Let's go nuts.
Apart from that scene. And I just really believed it when I watched him, that this guy was on the edge.
And also, that's such a powerful scene, even though that moment, and I think it's called like the affirmation of name or something. Superheroes do it a lot, like I'm Spider-Man, I'm Batman, I'm Superman. It's like a thing in superhero films and in drama in general, where like the hero embraces their identity, say I am this person. But he delivers it, I think, better than anyone has ever done one of those lines.
Yeah.
Because Bale's first line as Batman is the same thing. He pulls, is it Falcone out of the car? Tom Wilkinson's character, and he says, I'm Batman. And he delivers it brilliantly, and I almost put that clip in, but instead I went from another clip from Batman Begins.
Okay.
I went with this scene, which is terrifying.
Where were the other drugs going? I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God. Swear to me! I don't know. I never knew. Never. They went to some guy for a couple of days before they went to the dealers. Why? There was something else in the drugs. Something hidden. What? I never went to the drop-off point. It was in the Narrows. Cops only go there when they're in force. Do I look like a cop?
Blimey. That's Christian Bale's Batman.
Scary.
Yeah, I remember watching that. Again, I can remember when I saw that. I was in the first year at university. I went to see it at the Newcastle Empire Cinema. And when that scene happened, and it's before, you have to remember, I came off, like you said, you grew up on the Technicolor Batman. I kind of grew up on more the kind of Joel Silver era, where Batman again kind of became campy. So to go back Schumacher, and to go back to a darker incarnation of Batman was really kind of jolting, but successful. And when that scene happened, it's just before Bale's voice as Batman became a thing, and I don't think it's as strong in Batman Begins as it is in later movies. And when he does that, I remember laughing, but not laughing because I thought it was funny, because laughing because it almost made me kind of uncomfortable. And the way he screams at that guy, you realise the whole theme of that first movie is fear. And that's why the villain was chosen, the whole idea of him being motivated, creating fear in his opponents, and that moment's terrifying. And like I've always said, Christian Bale, great choice as Batman, because he is slightly unhinged.
And it's interesting that we both those scenes are both quite similar.
Very similar, yeah.
But it's Batman doing what Batman does.
It's right at the heart of it.
Yeah, he's frightening criminals, and he's looking pretty cool while he's doing it.
Yeah. This is so good.
All right, my favourite sequence come from The Dark Knight. Let's play it before we talk about it.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. He can't feel the neck. See?
You wanted me. Here I am.
I wanted to see what you'd do. And you didn't disappoint. You let 5 people die. Then you let Dent take your place. Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
Where's Dent?
Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
Then why do you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. No, you complete me.
You're garbage. You kills for money.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. To them, you're just a freak. Like me. They need you right now. But when they don't, they'll cast you out. Like a leper.
There we have it, and obviously that goes on. So, I love all 3 of the Nolan films, as I think you do, as any self-respecting comic book fan probably does. I mean, he kind of legitimised superhero movies, and they're 3 fantastic films, but I feel like The Dark Knight's the masterpiece, and this is the high point in it. I feel like it's all building towards this, the first film and a half, and we get to this scene, and I can remember just not being able to breathe in the cinema, watching these guys go toe-to-toe, and Batman being at a loss. His sense of justice not being able to cope with the chaos and the madness.
It's like, there's nothing you can do to me, Joker taunts him with. It's like nothing, for all your strength, for all of your might, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
It's also interesting you pick that scene, and unlike a lot of superheroes, Batman isn't associated with one particular woman. There's several over the years, and the movies have always struggled to find who that kind of romantic lead should be, because there isn't one. Batman wouldn't have one, because he's dedicated his life to one cause. Yeah. And the relationship that defines him outside of Alfred is the Joker. That is his love interest, for want of a twisted phrase. Yeah. But that seems brilliant.
Yeah, and you know, the film's good from there, and Dark Knight Rises is good, but I just feel like this is kind of the high point of that trilogy. Yeah.
So, I'm going back to my favourite Batman film, which is still Batman Begins. I know that's not a popular choice. Well, it's just not... It's definitely my favourite film, and it's this moment in particular, which is actually 2 scenes, so it's kind of a cumulative effect. So if we can play both of them now, Rich.
Rachel, all this, it's not me. It's inside. I am more.
Bruce. Deep down, you may still be that same gray kid you used to be. But it's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you. You could die. At least tell me your name.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Bruce?
That's amazing.
So you're a massive Katie Holmes fan?
Massive. Honestly, like, if they had got James Van Der Beek, that would have been possible. No, joking. So the first scene, she's... Alfred just says, you need a cover. You've just returned to Gotham. You need to go out and be the billionaire playboy Gotham expects you to be. And in that scene, he's just coming out of a restaurant after falling in a fountain with 2 kind of lingerie models. And you can tell he feels caught out by Rachel seeing him, because that's not who he is at all. And she gives him this, she kind of says this phrase saying, it's not who you are underneath, it's what you do that defines you. And of course that's what he's doing. He's spending every night trying to salvage the city. So then in the final scene, when he's basically completely outgunned, odds are entirely against him, for him to then reverse it, say it back to her, the phrase, and also reveal his identity as he's about to die, and then says it, and she goes, Bruce, and he just jumps off a building to take on everyone.
Classic man.
That is, again, all these moments where just like different sides of Batman, but that is the defining, like, just so selfless. And I think there's a kind of cult around Batman more than any other superhero, because you kind of say, oh, which superhero would win in this fight? And the kind of joke is Batman. What about this hero, Batman? Well, because he always have a plan. But Batman is just the ultimate badass. But also doing it in such a way that he sacrifices himself that you can't help but kind of love him.
Yeah.
And I think that moment summarises that for me. I remember watching this cinema, like slightly crying. Well, not slightly crying, just crying. And the moments like that really get to me. They make goosebumps come up on my arms.
Yeah.
And a little tear comes out my eye. Or lots.
Well done, Mr. Nolan, then.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant moment.
Yeah.
And also just the parallel, because it kind of sets up and then really pays off at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our favourite Batman moments.
Yeah, those are our favourites on the anniversary of his birth.
Feeling a bit emotional now.
Shall I finish off the...
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
I'm going to have a moment.
Well, we'd like to know what yours are, so send them to the usual address, which Rich will flash up on screen, because I can't remember it. There we go. Yeah, and thanks for watching, and keep it tuned to IGN for all your superhero needs.